Thank you for viewing the TMG Total Compensation Plan Redesign Update, originally presented at the TMG Forum on June 9, 2017. In today's session, we will share with you background about the redesign and where we came from, a status update on the implementation. We will provide a recap of the Phase 1 implementation that took place in fall 2016. The main focus will be sharing information about the recommendations that are currently being implemented, which we are calling Phase 2. We will also discuss next steps in the redesign, as well as identify where you can find more information. In the background section, we are going to provide you with a brief recap of this initiative. You may recognize some of the upcoming slides from past presentations. It's helpful to understand a bit about TMG. TMG includes directors, managers, supervisors, and those who are excluded from the union due to the confidential nature of the work performed. There are 625 employees in TMG, and most are female. With the closure of the pension plan to new employees back in 2009 and the introduction of the group RRSP, we have 65% of TMG in the pension plan and 35% in the group RRSP. 51% of TMG are eligible for post-retirement benefits. The chart on the bottom half of the page shows the distribution of TMG by band. The goal is to revitalize the TMG Total Compensation Program, ensure the program is contemporary in design, sensitive to the needs of members of TMG and the university, and strengthens our ability to attract, develop, engage, and retain high-caliber leaders that are critical to the university's continued success, and will strengthen McMaster's reputation as both a premier educational institution and a key employer in Hamilton. Back in January 2014, the TMG committee organized a series of focus groups to obtain your input on the total compensation program in effect for members of TMG. As a result of the feedback that was shared, the president and vice presidents made a commitment to review the total compensation plan design for TMG. The TMG subcommittee and working groups were created, and they have been working on the review of the plan design and its implementation. In 2015, our external consultant, Mercer, performed a diagnostic to understand our total rewards program. From the focus group feedback and the diagnostic from Mercer, 30 recommendations were put forward. The plan is to roll out the recommendations in 3 phases over a period of 3 years, with our target completion of June 2019. Today, we are going to discuss what was completed in Phase 1 last year, an update on the Phase 2 work that was completed since then, and the next steps that will take place into Phase 3. The feedback from the 2014 focus groups was grouped into 6 themes that you see on the slide. The subcommittee has continued to use these themes as a guide in the development and implementation of the recommendations. When we brought on our external consultant Mercer in fall 2015, they did a diagnosis to understand how our total rewards program for TMG compares to market, both universities and general industry. Their findings showed that our programs compare very favorably to the market and that we already had a good program to work from. The green circle for each of our program categories are all aligned to market, or are more competitive than market as indicated by the plus sign. For the group RRSP, the rates we provide are very competitive. The reason for the yellow partially aligned to market for the group RRSP is that when compared to general industry, group RRSPs are sometimes offered as the main retirement savings plan in conjunction with other items, whereas McMaster only uses the group RRSP in this area. At the recent annual general meeting for members of the group RRSP, our provider, Desjardins, commented that our rates compare very favorably with other organizations. The next section will review the status of the recommendations. On the screen, you'll see a picture of the Plan Redesign Recommendation Implementation Status chart. The chart summarizes all of the recommendations, identifies the target timeline for implementation, and the current status for each of the 30 recommendations. You'll note that there is still work to be done, and some recommendations will require university approvals. This information is also available on the website noted on the slide. Our next section will recap Phase 1 implementation, which took place in fall 2016. If you attended the TMG Forum in June 2016 or an information session in fall 2016, members of the subcommittee presented an update on the committee's work. On the slide, you can see a summary of the items introduced in fall 2016 as part of the first phase of implementation. To highlight what took place in Phase 1, we created the Job Evaluation Guide for TMG, which is a resource for TMG and managers and includes information about when jobs should be evaluated, who completes the job description, appeal process, and includes tips for writing an effective job description. It can be found on the Working at McMaster website. The job description form was revised and a new job posting form was created and is shorter and simpler to complete. The new form also eliminated the bubble sheet. The new forms can be found on the Working at McMaster website, which we will share at the end of the presentation. New benchmark jobs were selected, and we are currently in the process of updating these jobs. We also defined job families, which can be found in detail on the Working at McMaster website. The job family structure is a foundation for development of career frameworks and maps, which we will discuss further in the presentation. We also implemented the use of the standard Hay Guide chart and expanded definitions now being used by the Job Evaluation Committee. Although most TMG won't see this, we've changed the process for the committee. And finally, in Phase 1 was the implementation of the TMG Achievement Program. On the screen is a picture of the TMG Achievement Program, which changed the performance ratings. We wanted to bring this back today, as although it was implemented last fall, we are using it for the first time. I know it is hard to read, but this can be found on our website. The new achievement program features an overall rating, which could be achieving, successful, or outstanding. Considerations in determining the overall rating are work objectives as to what was performed, leadership capabilities as to how the work was performed, and individual development. The new TMG Achievement Program replaces the old performance ratings for all TMG for the 2016-2017 performance year, which we are currently completing. The Achievement Program will apply whether you continue to use the paper-based performance review forms or complete the performance review using ePerformance. Annual goal planning for 2017-2018 is to occur by September 30th, 2017. ePerformance will be made available for all to utilize for next year's objectives. In the next section, we will review the items currently being completed as part of the Phase 2 implementation. The items identified on the slide are the items that we are implementing now. We are going to go through each of the implemented recommendations in more detail. TMG has an approved pay philosophy of 60th percentile of market. By adjusting our market relationships based on band groupings, we are better aligned to where McMaster recruits employees and organizations with which we compete for talent. Additionally, we have eliminated weighting based on hiring experience and changed the revenue operating budget requirement. The salary range for a given band reflects the appropriate market level to provide the targeted level of compensation. The salary range allows for variations in individual salaries from multiple factors such as experience, performance, and unique employee attributes. Progression through the range is achieved by increases awarded in the annual salary review. The salary range, as you can see on the slide, has been divided into zones. On the left side is the progressing zone. The middle, we have introduced the target zone, which removes the focus on the fully competent target. And on the right, the high performance zone. We have reduced the number of bands from 15 to 12 by eliminating bands C, D, and E. Over time, jobs have changed, and we no longer had jobs in these bands. Having 12 bands is more typical when compared to other organizations. The remaining 12 bands reflect the range of diverse roles in TMG, and the groupings support some tailoring of the total compensation provisions by band, including the relationship to market, career frameworks, performance excellence, and future changes. Jobs in band F through I typically take less time for the incumbent to become fully competent in the role. Narrowing of the ranges in these bands will help to reduce the length of time it takes to progress through the range to the target zone. The narrowing of salary ranges will be phased in over 3 years, as illustrated on the slide. Employees whose salary after application of the ATB and merit in the annual salary review falls below the revised salary range minimum will have the salary increased to the revised minimum. Anyone above the revised maximum will have their salary protected. The new merit matrix is designed to better connect the performance achievement level and position in the salary to the merit awarded while maintaining flexibility for managers. This is the most common structure used in organizations. Some of the key features of the new matrix include the introduction of the target zone. The matrix encourages consistency in the application across the university, and it also promotes a more normal distribution of performance achievement rating. On the slide, we have the expected distribution of achievement ratings. What is important to note is that these are not forced or bell-curved in any way. It is just what we would expect to see in an organization such as McMaster. If our distribution varies significantly, it will be challenging to stay within the merit pool. If you have employees who are not at a level of achieving, you should contact your human resource office and introduce a performance improvement plan. In such situations, you don't want to wait until the performance review process to take action. A calibration process is being introduced this year to promote consistency in the application of the performance assessment and the allocation of rewards in the annual salary review. Calibration encourages recognition and differentiation of levels of performance and promotes better connection between performance and the allocation of merit pay and is best practice. Some areas of the university have already been using calibration processes very successfully. For some areas, this will be a change. For more information on the calibration process, we've created a calibration resource guide which provides all the details about the calibration process and can be found on our website. In order to facilitate the calibration process, we are introducing what we are calling calibration groupings. These groupings are intended to support our pay-for-performance approach. The groupings were introduced to try to deal with problems that you identified, including the challenge of trying to administer merit in smaller departments with few TMG members, as well as the lack of consistency in how our pay-for-performance approach is applied. Overall, we have 22 merit groupings that are based on faculty and/or functional area, which can be found in detail on our website. The final aspect of the Phase 2 implementation is the Pre-Retirement Vacation Exchange Program. The Vacation Exchange Program is an option for TMG members who participate in the pension plan or the RRSP. Eligible employees may make an application to exchange 1 week of their annual vacation entitlement for a 2% increase in base salary. Their annual vacation entitlement is then reduced on a permanent and ongoing basis until retirement. As part of the application, the employee must commit to retire within 3 years of the exchange. This program allows for better future planning for both the employee and departments preparing for succession. Further details about the program will be introduced later this year. The subcommittee is continuing their work and planning for the next phase of implementations. This slide provides a list of the recommendations still pending implementation, which the committee will be working on over the next year. We wanted to provide you a high-level overview of a few of the initiatives. Career frameworks are guidelines that illustrate to employees how they can move between jobs within the organization while ensuring that their career development aligns with the needs of the university. Work on this initiative is scheduled to begin in the fall. A call for members was circulated by the TMG committee. If you are interested in participating in the Career Frameworks Working Committee, we encourage you to submit your application and statement of interest. The Performance Excellence Program would apply to TMG in bands F through M. It would look to monetarily reward leaders amongst TMG who are high achievers and have demonstrated excellent performance and achievement. It would be conducted concurrently with the annual salary review process for TMG. The variable pay plan would apply to TMG in bands N through Q and would work as a partner program with the Performance Excellence Program. We are currently exploring options about the details of this plan, which are subject to approval. The committee is currently exploring the addition of recognition programs that are unique to TMG members. We are currently looking at a peer recognition program that recognizes individuals in TMG who excel in the leadership capabilities. Stay tuned for more details on the recognition program. Total reward statements are a summary of the total rewards offered to each individual employee, including base pay, incentives, benefits, and learning and development programs. We are currently exploring the capability of Mosaic to create these. We are in the process of preparing a total rewards information guide, which would highlight a summary of total rewards packages with linkages to individual program documents such as benefit booklets, pension plan highlights, and group RRSP highlights. This will help improve how we communicate the total rewards package we offer. Stay tuned for more information as work on the Phase 3 initiatives continues. In reviewing the progress we have made to date, as well as what's to come in our next phase, we wanted to link back to the key themes that came out of the initial focus groups we held 3 years ago to demonstrate how these changes address the feedback from our members. Over the coming months, more information related to the Phase 2 implementation and the next steps will be shared through meetings with managers of TMG, information sessions for TMG, website updates, and so on. We anticipate full implementation of recommendations by June 2019. As with any implementation, our work won't stop with communicating the changes. We will be assessing how the changes are being applied and will continue our efforts to ensure that the program is working as intended. The Total Compensation website has all the information to keep you informed about the changes we have discussed today, as well as plenty of other resources. Thank you for taking the time to listen to the TMG Total Compensation Plan Redesign Update. We hope you have found this session informative.